Okay, so this week we are discussing a brand new film, a new Marvel film. Can they return to form, their former glory, or will they crash and burn yet again? Deadpool and Wolverine. Talking about the new Deadpool. We just recorded Deadpool 1, literally like 30 minutes ago. And we're going to go straight into Deadpool 3. Here we go. This is a crazy multiverse movie, you know? You know how we said in the first two were like self-contained and that was a good thing? Let's see if they go the opposite direction and it's still a good thing. Who knows? Maybe it is. We have Ryan Reynolds back as Deadpool, Hugh Jackman back as the Wolverine, and then other people that I will not discuss just yet who are in this film as well. A lot of things to talk about.
Yes, there are, Hunter. And we will discuss them, we will talk about them, and we will speak on them. But
yes,
I must ask you the ultimate question.
Please.
The final question.
Okay.
Which is, but is Deadpool and Wolverine good?
Let's find out. There's a hair on my microphone. Ugh, itchy.
Did it tickle your nose?
It did. Let's find out.
But is it good podcast? Yeah. Welcome to the But Is It Good podcast.
Welcome to the But It's a Good podcast.
I am your host,
I'm your host,
Hunter Butthead.
I'm your host, Hunter Callahan.
And I am your host, Zach Olson.
This episode is brought to you by Late Night Cereal.
That's right. If you like cereal and it's late at night, eat it.
I just realized that one of my biggest pet peeves is like the sound of chewing. And I have become what I hate.
Well, the good news is your cereal is probably soggy as shit, so you won't have to chew it that much.
It's not. The bottom ones might. Zach, what are you partaking in? Just so our viewers know.
I'm eating Captain Crunch.
Is it good?
The crunch of the Captain. Oh, yeah, it's delicious. Captain Crunch is really good.
This episode is not a movie, it's cereal. But is it good?
Yes. I would say it's spicy radish.
Spicy radish?
Yeah.
How would you rate Reese's Puffs? Which I am eating. I'm eating Reese's Puffs.
So Reese's Puffs, if I haven't had them in quite a while, I would say they're like a 9.5 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
But if, like I'll buy a box of cereal and it's just me eating it.
Too much?
And once I get to the bottom of that box of the Reese's Puffs, I'm like, I'm ready for something else.
If I see one more puff, I'm gonna
do something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I think is the best? Let me ask you a question. Let me pose a question to you. You just ate that like an anime character eats rice. You know, when there's like you ever seen Dragon Ball Z when they eat food? They're like, psh. Let me pose a question to you. What is the best bite in cereal? The best bite. Like, what's the best? Like, you're like, this is the perfect bite of cereal.
Are you talking about like kind of cereal or like sog factor or
both? It can be the type of cereal.
This is gonna sound really gross.
That's fine.
The soggiest, biggest.
Wait, this is a good bite, right?
This is a good bite.
Oh my god! Okay, you already lost me, but okay.
The soggiest, biggest bite. You're getting as many Fruity Pebbles as you can on the spoon.
No,
and they're just like
fully. You're wrong.
Saturated with milk.
Wrong. You're wrong.
And you get as many in your mouth as you can.
No, you're wrong because it's the opposite of that. I was gonna say it's Fruity Pebbles, but it's like a just a little bit of milk, some crunch still there.
See,
or close second place for me frosted mini wheats.
Ew.
Hold on. You got to get one that's just kind of wet with milk.
I don't want to eat horse food for breakfast.
So the frosting is still firm, but it's got a little crunch to it.
I've never liked frosted mini wheats.
That one's a risk because like you have to forfeit like 4 or 5 pieces.
I would rather eat like bran flakes than frosted wheat, whatever they're called. Honestly, like every time I've had them, I've been like, why is this like, this is like noticeably grainy.
Healthier, probably.
Than bran flakes?
I don't think it is healthier.
As long as you get the bran flakes that don't have the raisins in them, because those little dried fruits add a lot of sugar, a lot of unnecessary sugar as we're eating our... So there are certain cereals that I classify as like a breakfast cereal.
And some are like dessert.
This is a dessert cereal for sure. Yeah, like if I have Captain Crunch in the pantry, I'm not eating that at 8 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm eating that at like 10:30 at night after like, you know, like
it's 10:50. So
4 hours after I'm like, I hit my calorie goal for the day. I'm done for the day. And then like, I'll just slink downstairs and be like, I don't care. I'm eating cereal. You know what I mean? Like
where's the cereal?
Yeah. So,
man, a few years ago, we'll get to the movie. I promise. I'm sorry. It's been already been 10 minutes. When I was living in Atlanta,
yeah,
we had like this ritual, right? Not every night, but some nights. I was a student. I was going to school, and so I like would sleep in. I guess more, not a ton, but Hannah would go to bed before me usually. And so I'd like stay up and like watch Sports Center or something, and I would like either make 2 cookies.
Yep. Which is like, is that worth the effort?
Yeah, it was fine. It was easy.
Okay, fine.
2 cookies and a glass of milk.
You gotta turn the oven on, and you gotta like put a pan in there.
Okay, it wasn't to me, at least. Or I would.
Yeah.
Or I would have cereal like every night. Every night that this happened, I'd be like, I'm gonna go have a bowl of cereal. I love like late cereal.
Yeah.
Anyway,
this is a completely unrelated. Well, it's related to the cereal conversation.
Please.
I have an uncle who's also like really into cereal, and I was going to visit him, and I don't know what happened, but I went to see him at his house, and my cousins were there, and it's like I hadn't seen them in years, kind of thing, because they're not like local; they're like up in Tennessee. And we were talking about cereal, and he was like talking about the cereal that he liked. And then all of a sudden, I like spread my legs like this, like sitting in a chair, and my pants just went pow, and like completely like I don't know.
Wait, like the Lenny Kravitz thing? Have you seen that before when he was on stage?
But it's weird because
were you wearing underwear?
Yes, I was wearing underwear, and it's not like the pants were like skin tight. Like it's not like I was wearing skinny jeans or something. It was just like they were like. Okay, so there's like true jeans, and then there's like those like kind of stretchy jeans. I like the stretchy jeans personally because you know they got some give to them. These were like true jeans that hadn't just like pure denim, had no give to them. And I guess I just went a little too far, and it just pop, yeah, right along the seam.
That's so funny because I have a pair of jeans that's on its way out because the crotch is it's like so
fraying,
worn.
Yeah,
and I know that one day I'm gonna do that. It's just gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I have like my favorite pair of jeans is they're actually from Abercrombie, believe it or not, and they're like a light wash. I think they're skinny, but they're a little looser than some skinny, and they have holes in the knees.
Yeah,
and one knee is just a shit show because I've been putting them on and my foot's gotten stuck and just like ripped it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I had jeans in high school where both knees were like just blown out because I had done that so many times and I could never stop. That's so funny.
I feel like we should switch sides, otherwise my neck is going to be in bad shape tomorrow.
We can switch sides.
Sure. Like honestly, because I've been looking to my left for like about an hour and a half at this point.
Finish this real fast?
Yeah.
We'll start. So, we're doing Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yep.
Please like and subscribe.
Please. And thank you.
Let it be known. If you listened to the Deadpool episode, then you already know this. We got a little off schedule because we do. It's fine. We're human. So we're recording the Deadpool episode and Deadpool Wolverine tonight in one night.
Mm-hmm. So there might be some nice continuity. Like we'll
Yeah.
know what we talked about
That's
an
true.
hour ago.
So it's 10:53 p.m. And we're 10 minutes in this episode, but we're going on our second hour.
Yep.
Of podcasting.
Yep.
We've had 2 cups of espresso, actually.
Yep.
And now we've had 1 bowl of cereal apiece. So there's actually no telling.
And if I get out of here,
where this is going to go.
if I get out of here by midnight, I might go to Taco Bell.
No.
Why not?
This means that actually I had Taco Bell like last week.
Did you like it? Did you get a chicken quesadilla?
I did.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
They have good chicken quesadillas.
That's pretty
It's
good.
not the best chicken quesadilla, obviously.
But it's something that I now know that I would be like, I can eat that at Taco Bell.
I feel like you would like the Power Bowls there because it's got like some guacamole and some rice and beans. You don't like beans. You're not a bean guy.
I hate beans.
Like all beans.
Beans, I hate them. I like green beans.
You know beans are healthy.
I know. It's something that I'm working on.
Is it a texture thing? Yeah.
It's just like mush,
because
dude.
it's squishy.
I
Do you like tofu?
I've only had it once, and it was like crispy.
Okay, yeah. Crispy tofu's good. Or like, I was going to say at Chipotle, they have this thing.
You lost me. I fucking hate Chipotle.
Can I talk?
Yeah, sorry.
So they have bowls, right? And they have this thing called sofritas, which is, it's like tofu, but they chop it up so it's like the consistency of beef. And then they spice it the same way that you would do like ground beef and like tacos. It's really good. And I got it from my dad and didn't tell him that he was eating tofu. And he was like, that was good. And I was like, you ate tofu. And he was like, what'd you do to me, boy? He doesn't talk like that, but it was like the vibe, you know?
Yes, he does.
I mean, no, he doesn't.
All right.
He looks like he would talk like that, but
Are we going to switch sides?
But he doesn't talk like that. That's
to
up to
switch
you.
mics? You just went talking to this mic.
What do you want to do? I feel like
It's not going to.
I feel like now that I've leaned back, I'm okay.
You good?
Yeah. If you're good, I'm good.
If you need to call an audible, just tell me. We'll just switch sides.
Okay. If I all of a sudden just yell Omaha,
I'll just jump.
yeah.
I'll just jump.
Yep.
Oh man. Okay. Cool.
We didn't do a wardrobe change like we talked about.
Shit.
What if
You want to just change clothes?
like switch clothes? I look like a fucking sausage and you're like
Wait, what? Why do you look like a sausage?
because I'm much larger than that shirt. That's why.
Oh, that would have been funny.
Next time.
All right, Deadpool Wolverine. Here we go. Zach, you watched all 3 today.
Yeah.
You can. I thought that was funny.
What? I mean, yeah.
Okay, thank you. You can get. What's your first reaction?
So, Deadpool 3.
I guess second reaction because you saw it for the second time.
Overall, I thought it was great. I really did. It has a lot of the same humor, a lot of the same like meta self-awareness about itself and the industry in general. Like there are some lines in the film that I'm like, wow, I'm surprised Disney let him say that. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. I'd be curious to see which ones you mean.
Stuff about how it's been going for them recently.
Oh yeah, I loved that.
Yeah,
Well,
I really liked that too.
We'll get to that. Yeah.
I do think it goes beyond its scope, and it has a lot of the shortcomings that almost every Marvel project that we've reviewed recently has had, in terms of like a muddled storyline and like there's too much going on, and it just doesn't seem like it's. It seems to like lose itself, but if there's any franchise that can do that and it's gonna be okay, I feel like Deadpool is like so not taking itself seriously from the outset that it didn't ruin the experience for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it's fine. I'm like, you know what, whatever. It's like at that certain point in Aquaman when you're like, fuck it.
Yeah, I'm in.
You know?
I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was there, you know, and so I do think that it has some things that if this was any other Marvel project, we would be complaining about. But and I do think that they sort of cheapen it a little bit, but like whatever. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah,
I really did.
yeah. Even on second viewing.
I mean, seeing it because I saw it like 2 weeks ago, so it's not like there had been a big gap. So I knew most of the jokes. I don't know. I just think Ryan Reynolds is really charming in this character. So yeah, it was
like
enjoyable.
tailor-made for
It
him.
wasn't as funny because I knew stuff was coming.
I'll echo what I said in the last episode that this is, mind you, he after the X-Men Origins thing, he was really one of the spearheaded people of like that's what we're gonna say, that he spearheaded Deadpool. Like he's the one who like made it happen.
Yeah.
There was like a famous like screen test thing that he all but admitted that he leaked.
Okay.
And it was that test footage that like, and the reaction to it that got the first one greenlit. He like was on a late night show and he was like, the only ones who knew about the footage were me, the director of the first one, whatever his name was. It was like 3 people. And he was like, I know that it was one of us. And he said, and I'm like 60% sure that it wasn't me. And so like he's heavily implying that like he did it. So to say this role was made for him is kind of ironic because it literally was like you know. But I would agree with that with a lot of that. I think this is my favorite Deadpool.
Okay.
I'll just go ahead and say that like off the top. I really had a good time. Again, saying this in the first one, these movies get more, for some reason, inherently more grace for me because of how self-aware that they are.
Sure.
But my biggest issue with it, and this is not a Deadpool thing, this is a Marvel post-Endgame thing, is that there's so much content now that like, if I didn't kind of keep up with stuff, I would have been like, what the hell?
I gotta be honest. There was a lot of like, I know I haven't seen the shows, so like, this isn't really a spoiler, but the TVA is involved and like,
yeah,
like, I just have to like take your word for it.
My
like,
saving grace before I fell off the ship is that I watched the first 3 or 4 series.
Yeah.
I watched Loki,
which was the TVA, right?
WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I watched Moon Knight. And then I fell off a cliff, and I haven't watched literally anything since then.
Yeah. Have you watched any of the Star Wars shows? Just out of curiosity.
I watched Mandalorian. And
both seasons? I've
watched all of that. All of that. And I watched 2 episodes of Boba Fett.
I'm going to take my shoes off and kick my feet up.
I have heard that Andor is phenomenal. Haven't watched it. And I haven't watched The Acolyte. I've watched Mandalorian. That's about it.
Okay.
But
anyways, continue.
Because I had seen Loki. Yeah. Mind you, I haven't seen Loki season 2.
Sure.
Because I had seen Loki season 1.
I have a front wedge.
A moose knuckle.
A moose knuckle, yes.
Knuckle. Because I had seen Loki season 1, I was like, okay, I at least know the TVA.
I mean, I know who they are just because of conversations that we've had when we did something else that they were involved in.
Yeah.
Like slightly, maybe it was when we were talking about Kang. What's his name? It was Kang, right?
Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah. Because he's in Loki season 1, right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, like a version of him, yeah. So I kind of knew, but that still bugs me because I'm like, I don't. It's maybe I'm bitter because I hold it against Kevin Feige, but post Endgame when all this stuff came out, he was like, the shows aren't going to have anything too crucial. Bullshit. Like it's you have to know it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was a lot of fun. I feel like some parts were a little excessive in the sense of like this doesn't mean anything for the plot. But overall, I think it was a lot of fun. I think it's the best Marvel movie in a while.
Okay. Yeah.
Which isn't a super high standard. I'm thinking of like Guardians was pretty good. Everything else has been kind of meh.
But, and if I can piggyback off you just for a second.
Please. I'm kind of done. I mean, I had a good time. I liked it a lot.
And he, like, the meta humor even speaks to this. The only reason it's one of the best Marvel films in recent memory is because it is Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool.
Yeah.
Because without that, there's a lot of the same formulaic stuff. A lot of the, like, heavy cameos where, like, both times I saw this in theater, people are, like, whispering these...
Tell me, please tell me.
These fucking nerds that are just, like, talking to their girlfriend, like, that's Blade. He played Blade back in the blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? They're just, like, whispering, like, all this shit. And it's like, if I need to, like, watch hours of YouTube videos and, like, scour the archives to understand all the references, it's just, like, I don't like it.
Well,
but
go on.
It was fine in this, again, like I said. But that's something that Marvel has been doing for quite a while now that I've just been, like, rolling my eyes at.
So over, yeah.
But what I'm saying is all of those characteristics, you know, what was it? When did they say, like, we're only going to do things that we know are going to be successful moving forward?
That was after, I believe it was after the absolute shit show that was Ant-Man 3. Which is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, which this movie, they were like, fuck that, fuck Ant-Man, because
it's a giant
something,
the
spoilers.
That's in the that's in the trailer.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know, man. Like, the only reason, in my opinion, it's okay is because it's a Deadpool film. Because if this was any other Marvel property and that stuff was happening, I would be so over it. You know?
Yeah, there was hold on, let me do movie minute real fast.
Okay.
Because I feel like this is gonna be a lot
of the combo.
We're gonna talk about like what happens for sure, but I think a lot of this is gonna be the nature of the film.
Yeah.
And how they approached it, which is why it worked for me.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't want to get too into it. So let me do movie minute real quick.
Let me pull up a timer.
I forgot about my clothes in the dryer. Dang it.
I want to be able to, Apple, we know that you're listening.
Yeah.
Someone from Apple.
Charted on Apple Podcasts before. That means that they're listening, right?
Yeah. I'll all the time I'll want to pull up a timer. So I'll search, you know, you can like scroll down on your phone and you can like search for an app or whatever and like get to it real quickly. I'll search timer. Does the timer pop up? No, you have to type in clock, which doesn't make sense to me. I typed in cock. And it was just like Safari search for cock. And I'm like, no, please no. Oh goodness. All right.
Oh man.
This is Deadpool and Wolverine movie in a minute.
Yes.
You ready?
Yeah.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, we meet Wade. He's digging up Logan's grave, and he's like, actually, I'm going to tell you how I got here. So we go back in time. He uses Cable's time jumpy thingy to go to the MCU universe and try to get into the Avengers. He's denied. He goes back to his timeline. He and Vanessa are split up, and he's like a used car salesman. But then on his birthday, he gets recruited by the TVA to join the MCU because his universe's anchor being is dead, and that's Logan. So he goes to save his universe. He goes and finds another Logan, Wolverine, to bring back. But then like shit goes crazy, and they throw him down to the void. Shit, and he sees a bunch of people. He sees Chris Evans, but it's Johnny Storm. He sees Blade, Gambit, and Elektra to fight Cassandra Nova is her name. Anyway, they get back to his universe and fight 1 billion Deadpools, and they stop the TVA, and they both live happily ever after in the new universe with Wolverine.
Boom. That's perfect.
Sweet. Nice. Okay, so what I wanted to say in there is that I was looking for one thing in this movie.
Okay.
I knew what I was going to get. I knew it was going to be... First off, let me just say, I think it's cool that they got to do, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine in the MCU. That's cool because he's such an iconic... He's like... I mean, he is like, Robert Downey Jr. to Iron Man. He, you know what I'm saying? Like, he is Wolverine, has been for so long. What? Except now he's Dr. Doom or whatever.
Nothing.
Is that what you're laughing at?
No, that's not what I'm laughing at.
What are you laughing at?
I just farted really loudly. And
I
it's
did.
Like
I thought that
the cadence of your voice covered it up,
matched it.
So you didn't hear it or something because you didn't react at all.
I thought it was like you snickering.
No, I farted like really loud. It, like
I can tell you farted now.
it vibrated the couch. Can you smell it?
Yes.
I'm sorry. It's the salads.
Oh man. Anyway,
The lettuce gives me gas, dude.
It's not the 2 cups of coffee that we've had.
Coffee doesn't give me gas.
Doesn't it like make you poop?
So, warm liquids make you poop. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because
So
they
it's
like
not like coffee.
no. Because
Gotcha.
if you drink iced coffee, do you poop? I
I
mean,
don't
you're
ever
gonna
drink-
poop eventually.
I don't ever drink iced coffee, so
Well, there you go.
okay.
And you poop, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Anyway, so like that's cool. I like having Hugh Jackman back, but I wanted one thing from this movie, and I wanted to see what Deadpool would say about the MCU
Okay.
because it's been ass. It's been terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just be honest. It hasn't been good.
Yep.
And I appreciated that Deadpool was like there's the line when he brings they keep calling him like he's the he's the worst Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
They bring him to the MCU and he's like, welcome to the MCU, you're kind of coming in at a low point.
Yeah.
And I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. But then like the nice Deadpool was like, I think it's all been great since Endgame. And I was like, okay, good.
The Canadian one that's like, sorry.
Sorry. But I appreciated that. There was a line where he's like, look, okay, the multiverse has played out. It hasn't gone like we thought it would. It hasn't been good.
Yeah.
And I was like, thank you. And I appreciate
That's the kind of stuff that I'm surprised that Disney let them put that in the script. You know what I mean? Like they greenlit that.
Yeah, but
Because you would think they would not want to admit it.
I mean, but I can at least appreciate. I guess I'm going to say Disney. I was going to say Feige. There's a little bit of respect earned back a little bit to be like, at least you're owning it.
Yeah.
In kind of a clever way. I mean, like, look, we know. Okay, we get it.
Yeah.
You admitted it when you canceled Ant-Man 4 and you canceled Captain Marvel 3
Mm-hmm.
and you canceled Eternals 2. The disappointing thing for me, which I guess it doesn't really matter because, but I would have been really disappointed if I had seen this movie and been like, okay, all right, Marvel, this was good. I've seen some things about Fantastic Four. It looks cool.
Yeah.
And then they announced Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. I've been like, and I've lost it.
Yeah.
So I saw this movie after that was released.
Yeah.
So now I'm a little frustrated because I was like, I could have been more excited for the future, but now I'm also not. I also thought this movie was gonna like do away with and or like streamline the multiverse, and it doesn't
Right.
in any capacity.
It could have.
If you actually break it down, it actually makes things more confusing. But I did appreciate the void and how they kind of used it, and I liked
Because it's like Mad Max, and you love Mad Max.
I love Mad Max. But it's nice to see, like in Loki, the void is still very much MCU specific.
You mean like
character-wise?
the sacred timeline specific?
Well, everyone that you meet is somebody that we've seen before.
Okay.
Not so like there's different actors playing him. Like Richard E. Grant plays an old Loki, and there's Kid Loki. There's a bunch of Lokis,
Okay, yeah.
but it's still Loki. You know what I mean?
So is the void outside of...
The void is like outside of time.
Okay, so like
It's like the
everyone
trash
that gets dropped in the void, that's why there's so many Deadpools, because that's all the Deadpools are getting dropped in the same place.
Yes,
The same void. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So there's one void, and it's like if you get pruned, you get thrown to the void,
Yeah.
and then you get eaten by a Goliath, and then when that happens, you're like
Gone?
gone, or if you die in the void, I guess.
Yeah.
So
What is Goliath? Just a cloud?
he's like a cloud monster. He might be explained in season 2. He's not really explained in season 1 of Loki. So I don't actually know.
Okay.
I know that, and this is here. Get this. See what you think about this.
Okay.
Apparently, at the end of Loki season 1, Loki and I forget her name, but it's like a female Loki. They team up. They go to the end of time, and they find he who remains, which is a Kang variant.
Mm-hmm.
They kill him. Well, she kills him. But he was the one who was keeping the timelines in order. So then it goes crazy. I haven't seen Loki season 2, but apparently at the end of season 2, Loki becomes the god of stories. And Loki is literally holding all the timelines together. Loki is outside of time, holding them all together. Don't know what that means for the future, but the void is outside of that, and it's like the trash heap for stuff.
Yeah.
Go on.
So Loki season 1, Loki season 2, he's holding time together, and then at some point, I guess it could be like thousands of years in the future, he stops that, goes back to his timeline, and then dies in Infinity War. Doesn't he die in Infinity War?
Yes, it's a different Loki.
What?
So remember how in Endgame they go back in time?
Yeah.
And like what's her name? The Ancient One is talking to Bruce Banner, and she's like, when you remove the stones, you create a branch.
Okay.
Like a branch timeline, a branch universe. Well, in that timeline, remember, things go wrong, and Loki steals the Tesseract and disappears.
Okay, yeah.
So that's the Loki in Loki season 1. He creates a branch timeline and then is taken out of time. So actually in Loki season 1.
But who's the Loki that dies on the ship?
That's the sacred timeline Loki. Stick with me.
But if in the sacred timeline, Loki steals the Tesseract and disappears.
He doesn't. That's a different timeline. By doing that, it creates a different timeline. I know. Hold on.
But when that event happens, it's not like there were two Lokis in that moment. You know what I mean? Like, because that event caused a new timeline. So he does that, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's a new timeline where he didn't do that? Is that what you're telling me?
I guess. I don't know. It's not, but it's not the same Loki.
So sacred timeline Loki is not dead.
He is dead. I don't know. Loki's still out there, okay? You know the scene when like they bring Deadpool to the TVA and they're showing him stuff like Cap and everything? I'm pretty sure there's a scene in Loki where he sees that scene where he gets killed.
Okay.
So like it's not that it didn't happen. He's just like outside of it. It's explained all in Loki, but the TVA views time as like a flat circle that's happening like all at once.
So that's what I'm saying. So he can do all this crazy stuff, go boom, bada bing, boom, wha-bam.
And still go die.
And still go die.
Maybe, yeah.
Because it's a flat circle. Because he can do all this stuff and then just return to that point because he knows it has to happen. That would make more sense than there's another one.
Yeah, maybe, because when they're talking to like He Who Remains, it's heavily implied that he knows he's about to die.
Okay.
Or where he's like, I've already died before. You know, like there's lines like that. So maybe you're right.
It's like in.
It doesn't make that sense.
It's like in. It's like in Tenet. I mean, you don't know how many times the protagonist
has done this loop or whatever.
Right, gone back and forth, or how many times Robert Pattinson. Like Robert Pattinson could have been that kid, and he's going back and forth, aging.
Oh yeah, there's that theory that he's the blonde kid at the end.
But they know. I mean, Robert Pattinson knows what his final act has to be. It has to be to like go down there and get shot in the head or whatever. Spoiler alert.
God, that's such a good movie.
It's such a good movie. I'm telling you, and I don't mean to derail the conversation, but the more I think about it, the more I think it's like
one of his best.
One of his best, even though it's one of his lowest rated. I think it is his lowest rated.
I remember I watched like a breakdown of that and explained like that final battle.
Yeah.
And it or like all the timelines, because it was saying like during that final battle, the opening scene's taking place.
Yeah.
And Robert Pattinson's character's there too.
Right. Yeah.
It's such a good movie.
It's so good.
Like, and like I think his last line is like, he's saying like, this is the end of a beautiful friendship, and for you it's just beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, that's a good movie. Have we done that movie yet? We have. We need to do it again.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I want to watch that tomorrow. I think that's my plan. I'm going to go home and do my discussion post, get some shut-eye.
And watch Tenet.
And I'll probably have to wake up at like, so my dad gets up at like 4:30.
Nice.
Because he has to like I call it his meditation. He has to just like drink coffee and stare at a wall for like an hour before he hops in the shower. But when he gets up, the dogs get up, obviously. And when the dogs get up, they get all fucking excited and they wake me up.
Yep.
So I'll be up at 4 a.m.
Nice.
That's why you were like, why were you
you
up so
texted
early?
me. It was like 4:45 or whatever.
Yeah, that's why. And most days I go back to sleep, but so I'll get some shut eye and then I'm gonna watch Tenet tomorrow because it sounds like a good day.
You should give me like a commentary as you're watching it.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, like I watched a breakdown of this movie of like the timeline, and it's just such a they like force it to work because like they're like, okay, because of the universe number, it's determined that the Deadpool films take place in the Fox universe.
Right.
But actually, it doesn't work because Colossus is and I was just like, I don't give a shit. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
It's Deadpool.
Right.
But I did appreciate, like, and I wasn't even like a big X-Men fan, but like seeing those actors play their characters again was really cool. Like some of the like Pyro, X-Men people.
Yeah.
Were you big on the X-Men movies?
I liked.
This is like a weird love letter to those movies too.
I watched X-Men 1 through 3, and then X-Men First Class, and that's all the X-Men I've seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything past First Class. No, I saw Days of Future Past.
So you've seen more than I have.
And then after that, I didn't see anything else. Like Apocalypse and the new Phoenix.
Was Apocalypse the floaty guy that made pyramids?
Yes, Oscar Isaac was a big purple guy.
Okay, yeah. I mean, X-Men's cool. Don't get me wrong. I just haven't seen the films.
Yeah. Did you like the Wolverine montage?
Where he's like going through all the different. Yeah, I mean,
and he gets the like comic accurate Wolverine who's like 5'2" or whatever.
The little one.
Yeah,
that was funny. Is that comic accurate?
Yeah, he's like 5'3" in the comic books or something like that.
That's really funny. I guess he's like a Wolverine. So.
Yeah, itty bitty. I did appreciate Henry Cavill making a cameo. That was cool.
That was cool. I thought you'd like that.
Yeah,
I was like, Hunter's. This is gonna make the movie for Hunter.
It didn't make the movie. It also got spoiled for me. I saw it on Instagram. I was
did
so
you?
mad. That's why I saw it. I was trying to wait until we did this episode, but I had to see it early because I was like, I had Wolverine. I had Henry Cavill spoiled for me, Gambit spoiled for me, and Blade. So like most of the big ones.
I had been seeing, because I didn't see it like right when it came out. I saw it like maybe a week after. But I'd been seeing all these Gambit memes on Twitter. But for some reason, I thought it was from The Boys.
Oh, really? It just like never computed?
It never clicked. Because it was never him like with Deadpool in the frame. It was always just him going, woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here. You know what I mean? So...
We'll see, like, and I really appreciated that Deadpool was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. Like, he's like, what are you saying? Who is your dialect coach?
Yeah.
Minions? So, like, those things were funny. But listen to this. Like, let me just see if you, like, this is where I worry for the MCU still. Because, like, I saw this video on this movie breaking down how, like, Gambit is still alive and has become the king of the void because... Only because his movie never got made, he was born in there, and I was like, stop it.
Yeah.
But I did appreciate, I was cracking up. Hannah didn't get it because she just doesn't care about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the lines about him where Blade and Elektra were like, the people we saved and the people that we were, and he was like, or maybe we wanted to save but never got the chance to. Like,
right, because he never got
lines,
his movie. Yeah.
I thought were like really funny.
So...
Yeah.
Again, this is probably just because there's a lot of movies that I haven't seen. Elektra popped up on screen. Both times I was in the theater, people were like, and I was like, Capital One card. You know what I mean? Like I had no idea who the fuck it was.
Wait, so did you not see the old Ben Affleck Daredevil?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so she plays Elektra in it.
Okay, yes.
And then she did get her own movie.
Okay.
And I did at least appreciate that the three main ones that, or I guess four if you count Johnny Storm.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that like got the most screen time are the ones who like didn't get endings.
Yeah.
Like I appreciated that. They're like, we can give them an ending.
Yeah.
I've never seen any of the Blades, but so I know. But I know that he's played Blade a few times. But the best part to me was that Gambit. I thought that was really good. I liked that Gambit was in it because that was funny to me because his movie never got made.
Right. Yeah, that was.
And frankly, I think he was good. Like I think it was fine. He was cool.
Mm-hmm. I do have a question for you. This could potentially be a plot hole, but like, is there such thing as a plot hole for this movie?
Yeah.
I don't think so. It's more of a plot hole for Logan, because okay, so like the whole idea of an anchor,
Yeah.
like the timeline has to have an anchor, right?
Mhm.
Well, the whole you've seen Logan.
I actually haven't, but I know. I've heard it's amazing. I haven't seen it. I've heard
It's such a good movie.
Yeah.
So
But I've known that like he dies. I mean, in the comic books he dies too.
the whole movie he's like protecting
X-23.
X-23.
Mm-hmm.
And like at the end, I mean, obviously he dies, but it's like this beautiful like pass the torch moment where like she can be better than he ever was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like it seems like the logic of that film and like the message that it was trying to send would indicate that she's the new anchor within the logic of this film. But then she's just like in the void. She got pruned. Like what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that doesn't make sense to me.
That I don't know, because I have to watch that video again because it seems to be the X-23 from Logan.
Yeah, because she's like, you gave me a chance to live a life.
So like how'd she get there?
She got pruned. She got pruned.
Yeah, time has passed because she's older, but it's like, why did she get pruned? What did she do to get pruned? There's a theory though. Want to hear this crazy theory?
Sure.
That at the end of the movie, she's there with Logan in Deadpool's universe, which is established to be the same universe as Logan.
Yeah.
So because Logan hasn't happened yet in that universe.
Yes, it has. What do you mean? Logan's dead.
Get this. Here you go. Buckle up. Because I saw this and I was like, what the? Hold on a second.
But Logan's dead and gone.
Hold on a second. Okay. Here we go.
He's got to sit forward.
Because I was like, I saw this and I was like, I didn't think about this at all, and I'm glad I didn't, because this is too much for me to make it work. Somebody wanted to make timelines fit. So apparently the X-Men timeline is like fucked anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently Days of Futures Past erases X-Men 3.
Okay.
Or something. And at the end of Days of Future Past, it takes place in 2024. The end of that movie is 2024.
Okay.
Okay. Logan takes place in 2029.
But we don't know what year it is in this movie.
We do, because apparently, it's stated he goes to visit Happy Hogan in 2018. It says 6 years later. So Deadpool and Wolverine takes place in 2024, 5 years before Logan.
He's dead.
Hold on a second. So when he's time jumping around looking for like Wolverines, and then he goes and looks in Logan's grave. They said that he must have traveled ahead, like in time.
No, Hunter. It wouldn't have been a problem to begin with, because
he'd still be alive.
The TVA wouldn't know that the anchor guy was dead yet, right?
They would. Remember what I said? That they view time as happening all at once, not linear. Thank you. See? So somebody had to force that logic to work. So they're like,
you're telling me,
because hold on, Paradox even says like he's trying to get it, instead of waiting, he's going to go ahead and prune it.
But okay, so if time's a flat circle and they can just like fast forward, would he have to wait, or can he just like?
Well, it seemed like there are rules to like let it play out like it's supposed to. No, I know.
So you're telling me that at the end of this film, there are two Wolverines and the same X-23, but there's a young one and an older one, all in the same universe at the same time?
So the theory is that like somehow that got found out, so that's why she gets pruned in the first place. So here's the thing. Get this. This is what I thought was ironic. And I was like, it doesn't matter. But Deadpool saves his universe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, based on the timeline, 5 years in the future in their universe, the world's going to turn into what it is in Logan. So it's like the apocalypse is already coming and Logan dies. But then I guess there's another Logan who's still alive. It just, see what I'm saying? This is what I meant where I said, like, we thought that they were going to make a joke of the multiverse and, like, get rid of it, but it's still a mess.
Okay, let's keep going down this rabbit hole.
Oh, no.
You ready?
Please.
So Logan is a drunk, or Wolverine in this movie. He's the worst one. And then X-23 is like, no, you gave me a life. I think you're the best one.
What if that's the Logan?
What if that's the Logan and the real Logan is still alive? But then there
It's
wouldn't have been an
just
anchor character
But
death.
see, that's the thing, is then it's like, so if an anchor character, who's the anchor of the MCU? You would think it would have been Iron Man, but like he's dead. So is the MCU going to collapse? Maybe it is.
The anchor of the MCU has got to be, the kid from Iron Man 2.
That's Peter Parker. You didn't know that?
No. The kid from.
Oh, like the kid. Oh, okay.
Or was that Iron Man 3? Like the annoying kid, the one that's like.
That's 3.
In that movie, and then you don't see him again until the funeral.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "That's the kid."
But he's like grown up, so like you barely even can recognize him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably him.
He's the anchor character.
He's anchor. But also, like, what happened? So Logan's been alive for 200 years. Like he says that he's been alive for over 200 years.
Yeah.
And he was born in like 1830 something. So when he finds him, it's got to be the 2030s.
Okay.
But also, what happened to the universe before he was born?
What do you mean?
If the universe is anchored by his existence in that universe.
Yeah, it's a stupid concept.
What about before he's born?
Yeah.
What happens then?
There was no timeline then. Time didn't exist.
It just poof. He's born and an entire universe is made.
Yeah. On the first day.
I just think like that's my one disappointment is that they had a chance, but like none of this makes any fucking sense. And Deadpool is the character that could have said that, and it would have been like, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But they still like forced it to work somehow within the MCU, even though the movie ends and they're not in the MCU.
You mean the sacred timeline?
The sacred timeline.
Okay.
Like, to say that this movie takes place in the MCU,
it doesn't.
It's kind of a lie because it takes place in the void. He's in the MCU for one scene. It's the same with Happy Hogan. That's it.
Does he go to? Okay, so riddle me this.
Okay.
Batman.
All right.
How does traveling time put him in a different universe?
I already asked that question to myself. I don't know.
Are you sure that there's no Happy Hogan in his universe?
There might be. The only so I saw a thing that explained that it was possible, but didn't explain like why. Just said we know that he can do this because he's done it before, and that is because at the end of Deadpool 2, he jumps around universes. He like goes and kills the other Deadpool.
Yeah.
That's a different universe. And then he goes and kills like Ryan Reynolds in the like real world. So with Cable's little thing, he can jump universes, even though in the context of Deadpool 2, they just say it's time. So yeah, it doesn't really make. That's what I think is really annoying. Is that so? Have you seen the trailer for the third Venom?
Is that the one that looks like it's connected?
Yes.
To Spider-Man or something?
Like Venom? Do you know who Venom is?
Yes, I know who Venom is. But like go on with what you're going to say.
So at the end of what was it? No Way Home or whatever?
Don't we see like a little symbiote thing?
We see like
and then we see Tom Hardy in the hotel room like watching the news.
Like he's in the MCU. He's like transported into the MCU universe at the end of Venom 2.
Okay, yeah.
And Venom sees Spider-Man on the TV. Yeah, and he's like this guy. And then at the end of No Way Home, Tom Hardy's just sitting there at a bar and he's whisked away. And a piece of the symbiotes back.
Yeah.
Marvel keeps doing this thing where it's like all these characters are going to be in the MCU and they're not. They're like brought in and then like it's like, which I bet they'll all be back for like Secret Wars or whatever, Doomsday, whatever it is. But theory is that Secret Wars is going to take place in the Void and like every Marvel character ever is going to be in it, which is like whatever. We've already seen that.
They should have.
Are you back on the Marvel train? At this
No.
movie? Yeah.
Absolutely not. The more we talk about the timelines and all the like,
the less you like this movie.
the more you talk about these YouTube essays
that
dude. You watch, the less I like it. Yeah.
Mind you, the one that I watched was like 10 minutes. I saw one that was an hour and a half, and I was like, no.
It's just like, get your bag. It's cool that you're able to create this content. Trust me, that's cool. Y'all are doing cool stuff. It's too much for me and it's not my thing anymore. Yeah. I don't know if it's like I aged out of it or if it's like it's just become too complicated and I don't want to keep up anymore. I need to devote my energy to fantasy football and like eating prunes.
When you have to force it to work. You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, this turned into something that it wasn't meant to be.
Well, that's what happens with timelines.
Did you like the Johnny Storm thing?
Yeah. I thought it was going to be Cap for some reason. I don't know why Cap would be in the Void, though. You know what I mean?
A version of him could be in the Void, I guess.
Yeah, but...
That's the thing. A version of him could be,
Mm-hmm. But it's so weird because there are some... Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Now I'm getting frustrated.
Please.
Because we have multiverse variants who are who are played by completely different actors. Mm-hmm. So you've got McAvoy, and then you've got Patrick Stewart. Mm-hmm. Patrick Stewart was in
Doctor Strange,
Multiverse of Madness, right? And so it's like those are the same person, but in different universes, they're literally portrayed by different actors. Or like Deadpool in this movie, it's almost like they did a Spider-Verse thing where there's like baby Deadpool and like dog Deadpool and like all this crazy stuff. But then you have like Doctor Strange, we see multiple variants of him and it's all played by Benedict Cumberbatch. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, are there certain ones that are like so special?
But and now, because of Marvel and the new curveball, we have Doctor Doom.
Right.
Who's played by the same actor who plays the most important character in the MCU.
I just don't know. Is it going to be a completely new thing, or is it
confirmed? Is not a Stark variant. He is Dr. Victor Von Doom in the Fantastic Four, which apparently is in a different universe.
I'm sorry. What?
Apparently, the new Fantastic Four is in a different universe.
Okay.
But I think their plan is that they're all going to come together
for Secret Wars.
Yeah, I saw a thing.
Is this dog hair on my socks?
I thought
it's probably dog hair.
I thought I sent it to you, but someone did a meme, and it showed Spider-Man, and it said, because by the time the movie comes out, it's like 4 or 5 years from now. It said, 35-year-old Tom Holland playing 16-year-old Peter Parker, seeing Victor Von Doom, and the line was, "Gosh, that looks like Mr. Stark."
Yeah.
I don't know, man, because like as soon as I kind of was like, all right, I guess sometimes they look different, sometimes they look the same, but they're still variants. Then they throw in the Dr. Doom stuff, and I was just like, I don't know. That really, the little bit of goodwill that this movie bought back for me was burned very quickly.
Because of the Dr. Doom stuff?
Dr. Doom stuff, yeah.
Well, it got some cheers at a convention. I feel like I have more questions.
Yeah, you can tell me. I mean, it's already been an hour, but whatever. We can keep going.
Yeah, because we don't have shindigs. I mean, we just did shindigs.
We don't have a lot of shindigs.
We don't have any, do we?
Talk about more. We have whiskey shots.
Oh yeah. Right before I hop in a vehicle. That's smart.
I guess we have to do every movie sucks. Pull it up so we can get it done.
Gosh, timelines. Oh, how many different characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe has Josh Brolin played?
Like in the MCU or just like in Marvel?
Well, Marvel, I guess.
Because I guess it's what? It's Cable, Thanos. Was there more?
I thought there was more.
These reviews are going to kill me.
Da, 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 da. What?
This review, I'll read it later. Let me ask you something. Can I ask you something?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask for you to care a little bit about Marvel for a second.
All right, I'll try.
In the current state of things, what would you like to see? Like, what would make you go, oh, okay, I'm not back in, but like, all right, I'm intrigued. Like, what is there a way for them to salvage this in a way that is also enjoyable? Not like get to a place they start over, whatever. Like make the process enjoyable.
Even though they weren't perfect, I feel like the movies that I've enjoyed the most outside of this, which I thought was, excellent.
For the record, yeah, we did like this movie.
And it's so funny because I feel like a lot of MCU fans didn't like Shang-Chi, but I did. I thought it was great.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was a self-contained story. I think they need to get back to the, like, regardless of what superhero you're going with, like let's have superhero stories again that don't rely on fucking Harry Styles coming next fall. Is that still happening? Is he going to be whatever he is?
Eternals 2 has pretty much been canceled. I wouldn't be surprised if like they show up somehow in Secret Wars or Doomsday. But apparently like Captain America 4 like takes place around that. Remember how like half of that giant thing came out of the earth?
Mm-hmm.
Like that comes back, I guess. Which that movie looked interesting. Like I'm intrigued about that movie because those have typically been more grounded. But
I know nothing about it.
Harrison Ford's in it.
Oh, I saw a video today. It's so funny because I'll see these things now and it's like first sneak peek of
Red Hulk.
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck is Red Hulk?
Yeah.
Why is Harrison Ford the Hulk?
The guy, William Hurt, he died.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing Thunderbolt Ross.
Mm-hmm.
He's like in, was it Ultron and stuff? And
Mm-hmm.
he's in a lot of them. Harrison Ford is playing that character. He's playing Thunderbolt Ross.
And he becomes Red Hulk?
In the comic books, he becomes Red Hulk, yeah.
What's Red Hulk?
He wants to be powerful, too, and he creates another, like, virus or whatever to give him powers to the Hulk, and he's red.
Is he good or bad?
I think he's bad.
Thunderbolt Ross becomes a bad guy?
He's always kind of been a bad guy.
I thought he was a good guy.
He's the president in the movie.
The president?
He's the president
of the United States?
President Ross, yeah.
So why is he like...
Well, he wants a team for the government.
Feel like he keeps going to like combat zones and shit.
Well, he wants
like isn't he in the Russian one, Black Widow?
I think so. He wants.
Why is the president in enemy territory?
Well, he wasn't the president then. He wants a team for the government. The Thunderbolts that they're making is like the anti-hero Avengers. That's his team.
And they're all Russians?
No, they're not Russians. Bucky's one of them.
Wasn't Bucky brainwashed by the Russians?
Yep.
And aren't the other ones isn't
one of the Black Widows in there, and then like the red Captain America guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like a bunch of Russians.
I guess, I don't know.
And the United States president that's his team?
But yeah. Excuse me.
You're excused.
You didn't answer my question.
Well, I did.
Is there anything? Oh yeah, I get back to superhero stories.
Like self-contained stories that don't rely on this like giant
cameo porn.
Because the thing you were talking about in the last episode, or maybe it was the beginning of this episode. I don't remember when the fuck it was. Excuse my language. The moment the MCU changed was the moment comic book movies changed was the Avengers, because these crossovers could work. And then they became so convoluted that it was like even the self-contained movies had to have these crossovers in them, when no, let's have 4 or 5 superhero movies, and then they all come together and do an Avengers style thing. You know, like they need to get back to that.
It's funny because when you create the world, though, with so many characters, you can't help but go, because every movie kind of has to have the stakes, right? And then you go, well, then where's everybody else?
Sure.
So which the thing is, the thing is, like, I don't think anybody really cares about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if they made a new, I'm trying to think of a here that they haven't done. I don't know. Shit.
So when is it that, like, the Hulk disappears for years and they find him in, like, India or something? Do you remember that?
No. He's on a different planet. That's
No. I'm not talking about when he flies away in the ship.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking about, like, between Edward Norton and
Avengers
and Mark Ruffalo,
when he becomes Mark Ruffalo.
He's like in India.
Yeah.
He's just like gone.
Right.
So like there's a whole planet that we can work with. Like, we haven't had any superheroes in, like, Beijing, have we?
Well, that's the problem, is that
Australia.
They got to the point where they were doing stuff where, like,
it's all happening in New York. It's like, come on.
But they got to the point where they would do stuff where, like, every solo movie had to be like world-ending stakes.
Mm-hmm.
And when you create something that big, you wonder where the Avengers are. The thing is, though, here's the thing. I don't care. And I argue that most people don't actually care. Like, if I were to see, let's pick a person, pick a character. Let's say they introduced, what was the ninja that we said that we would create for Mortal Kombat? What'd you call it? Ghost. Let's say they introduced Ghost, although Ghost is already a character in the MCU. A new character, right?
Yeah.
And we have a movie about this person. I don't really care where Iron Man is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't really care. But if you force me to think about it, then I'll be like, wait a second, why? I don't, unless their stories are irrevocably intertwined, like maybe Spider-Man and Iron Man were. Like, Shang-Chi, you can mention them you can be like, oh, the Avengers, cool. That's enough. You don't have to.
You know what I would like to see?
What?
You were talking about how every movie has to have this, like, world-ending threat. What about just, like, a community threat? So, like, I don't know, there's some hear me out, man. Someone in Iceland who has powers, and he's, like, hiding his powers or something, and then this evil guy wants to, like, erupt a volcano and, like, take out the whole island, and he just saves the island of, like, he saves Iceland.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That'd be fine. It doesn't need to be, like, world fucker's dick is coming towards us, and we need to take it out before it pierces. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it all gets too much. I don't know. One last question that we probably should talk about a little bit about the movie is: did you like Cassandra Nova?
I had no idea who the hell Cassandra Nova was, again, because I'm not a comic
Charles
book
Xavier's twin. Yeah.
But okay, so he's so in tune with, like, everything. How did he not know that she even existed? Or did he?
I guess she's in I don't know, because she's in the void? I don't know.
Did she get voided when she was in the womb?
I think that's implied, that it's, kind of, or something.
How the fuck did that work?
I don't know, man.
Just like an umbilical cord going up into the sky? You know? Like,
I don't know. That's why I appreciate that. That's why this movie can work as a Deadpool movie, because, like, you don't need to explain it.
I do think it was a little, like, I don't know. So she is, like, pure evil, and then Wolverine's like, your brother would have loved you if he knew that. And then she's like, I'll help you. And then she comes into the universe and she's like, just kidding, I'm evil again. You know what I mean? It was kind of like flip, flop, flip.
Where she's just like, well, I helped you once, but now I'm not going to anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to destroy everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. She was a little...
She seemed a little one-dimensional.
She was a little... She's evil because she's evil.
Mm-hmm.
I actually I think that's actually accurate. I don't think it's like she's evil because I think she's evil because she's evil.
She's evil because she's evil.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway. I guess you have to ask me.
Hunter.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, please.
Mm-hmm.
But is Deadpool and Wolverine good?
Despite what this conversation has sounded like, yes, it is very good. I would say it's rad.
You know what I realized?
What?
In our previous episode that we recorded last week, like an hour and a half ago, we didn't even mention the villain. We didn't even talk about
That's
Francis.
true.
And in this one, we talked about what's her face for. We didn't even mention Paradox, the TVA guy. So the villains don't matter.
Yeah.
That's what we're learning. Because it's Deadpool. You don't need a good.
I thought Paradox was funny. I thought he was
He was whatever. Yeah.
It wasn't like anything crazy.
Right.
What I was gonna say. Here's one little point.
Okay.
Where I was kind of like, okay, whatever. This is one fault that I have with the movie is that like when they just fight, like him and Deadpool and Wolverine,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they like fight for a while. At first, it's like, okay, Wolverine got drugged down to the void because of this guy.
Yeah.
Fight. But then later, he just is like annoyed when they fight for like 10 minutes. And I was like,
In the car?
yeah.
Well, it's because he lied to him.
Well, no, I guess so. I mean, it's a good sequence, but it's also just like, are they just gonna like, they fight? How's my stomach? Good lord. Are they just gonna fight and then like, kind of move along? Are they fight again? To me, that felt a little redundant.
Yeah, it
But
did.
anyway, you asked me a question.
But
Are you checking out? You just like,
Sorry. No, I was I don't know what I was doing. There were reports that Beyonce was going to perform at the DNC, and so I was trying to see if she did, but I don't think she did. So it's bullshit. They all lied. But is Deadpool and Wolverine good? Did you already answer the question?
I think it did. I'd say it's rad. It's rad. This one's also rad. Despite what
Okay.
we said, it's actually quite fun and it's a good
Yep.
movie.
Yep.
It doesn't. Don't just watch it. Just watch the movie and enjoy it.
Don't watch any essays
Don't like try and make it fit.
unless you want to.
I mean, you can. It's interesting, but like, don't make it fit. Don't try too hard to make it fit into the MCU because it's just chaos. But the movie itself is fun. It's good. Yeah, it's rad. What do you think?
It also didn't make sense. Sorry. Now that I'm thinking about it, the whole Vanessa is like slowly fading away from him because he hasn't proven himself. In the first movie, they didn't give a shit about like anything other than like
Your crazy matches my crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that was it. And then in this movie, she's like, "You need to do something," or like
Well,
whatever.
Well, I think she was like concerned that he was depressed, but I think it was implied that like when she's like fingering his brain, he's like she never said that, you know, like
Mhm.
is that
Mhm.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Let's read some bad reviews real fast and then take a shot of whiskey. Almost midnight. This is what I laughed at. It's half star. This person's name is I Love Lunch. First line says, I obliterated the AMC bathroom before this, and that was a better experience than this movie. I'm going to read this whole thing. It says, Shawn Levy couldn't direct piss into a toilet sitting down. This was a movie made by someone who doesn't love or understand the art form. Incredible, though, that every single choice was wrong. It takes a special talent to make actors of that caliber, not Ryan Reynolds, so incredibly uncompelling. Genuinely baffling to revive all those old superhero roles and claim it's some sort of redemption when they are all better than this. My sincere advice to Shawn Levy and Ryan Reynolds is to stop being a kid in a candy store eating until you make yourself sick and to go learn about flavors that aren't high fructose corn syrup and sarcasm.
Ooh.
That was a pretty scathing review.
Mm-hmm.
Your turn.
Mm-hmm. Robert says, bye, bye, bye.
Thought out. Well thought out. Half star. Personally, I think this movie didn't take itself very seriously, which inevitably will be the downfall of Disney as we know it. So I would not recommend this movie. I'd rather watch an ant eat a rock with no barbecue sauce than watch this so-called film again.
Riley says, kind of like that one millennial coworker who still speaks only in Friends quotes and Harambe memes, who nobody has the heart to tell their peaks long over.
That was pretty funny. Here we go. It's my last one. Half star. Absolutely incomprehensible for people who don't have a vast knowledge of Marvel lore. The only thing that saved it was Deadpool's funny jokes that distract us from the shit show that was this movie. I officially do not respect Marvel fans.
Oof. Let me try to find a shorter one.
All right, I've got one more. Actually, this is pretty funny.
Give me a second. I'm trying to find one that's like short. Because all these are like super fucking long, and I don't want to sound like you just talking forever, you know. Brother, they fucked this up. Plot sucks. It looks like shit, and it's so annoying. Instead of filming this through the writer's strike, they should have sent Shawn Levy to my house to kill me instead. Would have cost less and been much quicker.
Yeah, this is the last one. Half star. Again, someone told Ryan Reynolds he was funny. The virgins in the theater I saw this in laughed way too hard at every little underwhelming joke that was delivered. They laughed too hard and way too long. Then they would repeat whatever dialogue that was just delivered. It was embarrassing. I think the only thing that are worse than Deadpool are Deadpool fans. This will be the last Marvel movie that I ever pay for, or superhero movie, period. It's all just an actor in front of a green screen looking like they're constipated and pushing. Okay, we don't have any shindigs because we did them in the last episode, and that was 2 hours ago. But we're going to do whiskey shots. Zach, you look tired.
I'm tired.
Well done. We'll do a little shot. We don't know if we're going to continue. Is this too much?
It's going to make...
We don't have to do this.
We'll do it.
We're doing one.
I think we need to start chilling it or something. Oh, I can smell it from here.
It's apple.
Oh, I'm such a bitch. What happened to us?
Whiskey shots might be changing, but...
This is like a fourth of a shot, and I'm scared.
I know. In lieu of this, we appreciate people who listen to this ridiculous podcast. And, Bibika, you okay?
She's stretching.
Be kind and love people. And tell them that they're pretty.
Okay.
You got to do it.
Fine.
I already did mine.
Yeah, but you're not driving.
That's true.
I can't stop burping.
You can find us at butisagoodpodcast@gmail.com, BIIG podcast@gmail.com, BIIG podcast on X, But It's a Good Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I actually don't know what we're doing next. I actually have an idea. You want to talk about it off air? You want to talk about it right now?
Let's talk about it. I want to talk about it.
So next week, I'm going to be in New York like all week.
So you want to do...
Let's do Kinds of Kindness.
Kinds of Kindness?
Because I've already seen it.
All week? Into the weekend?
Yeah, we'll do it like next weekend, but we can do Kinds of Kindness because I will not be able to see anything.
But you'll be able to record in person?
Yeah, I'll be home. I'll be home. Oh, wait, we're going to a concert next week, next Saturday. It's Pink Floyd.
Yep.
Don't forget about that.
Yep.
So, yes, Kinds of Kindness coming out.
Pink Floyd cover band.
Yeah, it's not the Pink Floyd.
And the tickets were more expensive than...
It's Australian Pink Floyd.
Australian Pink Floyd.
We'll release the schedule for September soon, but I think we're doing Kinds of Kindness next week. Go Braves.
Go Braves. What if I could break your hand?
Don't. Please don't.
Okay.
You want to just stare at the camera for a little while?
Breathe heavy into the mic.
Add a little bit of shake to it.
All right, so here's what we're going to do.
Okay.
Us holding hands, us breathing shakily into the mic. Up here, our logo. That'll be our first commercial that we push on Instagram.
All right, here we go. I got it. Now just look at each other. I almost just farted.
You farted?
I almost did. Oh, okay. Bye-bye.
Not when I'm breathing that heavy. But is it good podcast? Yeah.